Hello and welcome to this Somatic Self-Care Mind-Body Connection class. Today I want to explore cleansing energy, or ways that we can clear our energy. And honestly, in all of the different somatic or body-based practices that I've been using and exploring, a lot of them have that capacity to help us shake energy off or reset our energy. And we can look at this energetically, we can look at it from the nervous system perspective in terms of regulation, and we can also look at it in terms of tension in the body. So there's lots of different ways that body-based practices can help us quite literally and subtly clear our energy. An extra point I'd like to bring in is that the body is a vessel, the mind is a vessel, and we can't fill a vessel that's full. So one of the benefits of actually clearing our energy is that we can more effectively and consciously bring the energy that we want in. So although this practice will be focusing primarily on cleansing energy, and that can be great for if you're a body worker and you need to cleanse the energy after a day, or any job cleansing energy after a day or after a stressful experience, these practices are focusing on helping us reset. There's also an undertone of a message that we'll probably explore in other videos of what do we fill that empty space with? When we've emptied out, what do we want to fill it with? So we'll be playing a little bit with that as well. But to start, find a comfortable seat. Whatever that looks like for you, take your time to set up with props if that feels supportive. And if it feels appropriate, closing down the eyes, otherwise you might just look out steadily to the front or lower the gaze. Making any adjustments in the body that can help you rest more comfortably into the physical space. Perhaps we lengthen the back of the neck with a little tuck of the chin. Maybe we have a little yawn. Or maybe there's something we can do with lower back, shoulders, or the foundation. And once you've found your comfortable seat, connecting with the breath, and just becoming aware of the body breathing itself without any active participation in the breathing process. Watching this rhythm that is consistently with us. Tuning yourself into the rhythm of life through the breath. And after another breath, simply witnessing what is here, seeing the breath without any of our influence. Begin to connect to the inhale as something that is drawing in nourishment. So this might be really simple for you to connect to, simply through the sensation of the breath and the awareness of the breath, bringing in oxygen and vitality. But you might also attach a supportive color to this in-breath. And as you exhale, connecting to the exhale as a part of the breathing process that detoxes the body. The body has multiple detox systems, including the digestive system. Of course, we sweat. But respiration is one of our largest ways that we detox from the system. And if it feels nice, you might connect to a sigh out the mouth. Perhaps there is a color or a very specific thing that you'd like to charge your exhale with at the beginning of this practice. What might you like to discharge from the body, from the being, with your exhale? And sensing the impact that the exhale has on the physical body. So I know for myself, it tends to connect me more with my lower body. I can connect to a sense of heaviness or density, a downward moving energy through the softening of the belly. And from a yogic perspective, the out-breath is related to Apanavayu, which is the downward moving energy, which supports the detox and excretion systems of the body through digestion, through menstruation for women, that downward flow. So just taking a moment to connect to the power of the exhale physiologically, energetically, symbolically. And either with eyes open or closed, we'll let that process go. And bring both palms to the heart space, so you can stack both palms on top of the sternum or between the breasts, wherever they land comfortably for you. And we're going to create small circles with the palms over the chest, depending on what's comfortable for you today. There could be a bit of pressure added to these circles, giving a bit of a massage to the space under the hands. And we're going to move that circle in an anti-clockwise direction. And energetically, we can imagine that this anti-clockwise spiral is releasing. It's like we're opening the doorway or the floodgates of the heart so that the energy can move outwards. So imagining that we're loosening that doorway or twisting open the lid on that energetic heart space. And what is something that you'd like to release from the heart? Could be a word, could be a phrase or an image, or simply a felt sense. But charge this little movement with intention that's powerful and relevant for your life at this time. Whenever you feel ready, you can bring those circles to stillness, feeling any impact so far from that one movement. Letting it integrate through your stillness, letting the system adjust. And then when you're ready, we're going to connect to something that we'd like to absorb in or draw in, something that we're bringing into our life, and align that with the clockwise circles over the heart space. There's no right or wrong way to do this. My hands are more between the breasts right now because I have a necklace that could be making some funny noise into my microphone, but please place your hands higher if that feels more potent. And imagine drawing in that energy, that outcome that you'd like to absorb into the heart space, into your life, in this clockwise direction, drawing energy in. Whenever you feel complete, you can bring those hands to stillness. Notice the impact of the practice so far. And a little symbolic gesture I like to do is just pump the heart space 3 times. Little presses towards the breastbone to let the heart know that that space is now closed. We're not allowing for energy leaks. Just Just bringing some comfort, almost as if we're patting soil over a seed. New pathways of energy have been created. So let us pat that gently so that it's nice and secure. And from here I'm going to sweep from my heart out my arm, imagining that I'm letting go of any energy here that I don't need. Once again, if there's something active in your life that you'd like to discharge, to let go of, you can charge that movement here, switching sides from heart to hand. And you might even scrape along the hands as if you're getting cobwebs off, and just give them a little shake with the fingers, getting all that slime, yucky cobwebs. Blah, you might even make a sound. Taking off those cobwebs. And we can do the same from the heart to the throat with sweeps. So if it's comfortable for the neck, we can tilt the chin upwards, opening the throat, and honouring that pathway between heart and throat. Opening up that passageway so that the throat can become a pathway for energy to be released through sound, through breath, through expression, through our truth. This is a pathway that can get really blocked. Squishing, when we squish our truth and authenticity for social appropriateness or fear. Let's come to a kneeling position and continue that honouring of the heart-throat connection. If it's comfortable, you might have your knees apart with your buttocks on your heels. Otherwise, feel free to come back and take your cross-legged position. But this is a really, fun way that I like to get into lion's breath. And I always do a kind of puma tail thing here because it connects me to my animal, my inner animal. And if you do want a little arm stretch, you can also turn the fingers towards the body and have a big stretch there. It might be a nice way to release some tension there as well, but otherwise fingers towards the front of the mat is just fine. And we're going to inhale and then exhale, stick our tongue out with lots of charge and do some big crazy eyes. Maybe your eyebrows come really wide, or you might even cross the eyes. And I'm going to do this 3 or 4 times. You can join in whenever you feel to. And really let that exhale release stagnant energy, purging any blocks from the heart to the throat. And it's also a safe way to release any anger and opening through the jaw. The jaw is another place that a lot of emotions and expression can get stuck. So honouring this heart-throat connection helps us and requires us to open up the jaw. So we might even do some little face stretches there, maybe a yawn comes on, and we'll continue our lion's breath, charging it with whatever feels potent to release. One more. Beautiful. From here, coming to a comfortable seat, I'm just going to do some gorilla taps here on the chest, and I'm going to let out a big ah. If that feels a bit too active, or there's other people in the house and you don't want to be that obvious, totally respect that. You might tap and you might just sigh, like, but I'm going to go for it. Beautiful. All right, let's come to a tabletop. If it's comfortable for you, I'm going to invite us to tuck the toes and lift the knees off the floor. If a down dog is more comfortable, that's also an easy way to do this, or another way to do this. But we're going to shake out our pockets. So we've attended a lot to the upper body so far, and I have this little practice that I call shaking out the pockets, where I just kind of bounce on the balls of my feet, and this can be a down dog movement, or you can bring it lower to the floor. But we're starting to bring in a pulse. You might feel some vibrations and wobbles through the buttocks, through the belly. You can let that belly be soft, giving the organs a little massage here, through the legs. And imagine that we're shaking out the pockets. Often I imagine coins, but that doesn't really align with abundance mentality. So maybe we visualize old lollipop sticks and just dust and all that stuff in the pockets that can get stuck in the corners. Give that a big shake. Beautiful. In your own time, in your own way, you might want to have a little stretch here, but we're going to make our way to standing. And if you do take a forward fold, you might imagine a river coming out the top of the head here, and you can just let anything that doesn't serve you fall out the river of the forehead. And we're going to come to a little bounce. Feel in with your knees what's going to be best for you. Bouncing can be really great for the joints, but obviously if you have sensitive knees, you want to listen to them. So my feet are about hip width apart, and I'm going to come onto the balls of my feet and soften through the joints. You might also want to try a little bounce through the heels and the balls of the feet, with both ends of the feet being connected to the floor. See what feels best for you right now. And soften through the joints. If it feels comfortable and appropriate, you might soften through the neck, the shoulders, let the elbows and the wrists and the knees and the ankles, the lower back be soft. I'm tapping my belly to remind my belly that it can take up space, almost as if I've taken off my jeans for the day and there's no restriction there. Maybe you do some vocalization. And one of the benefits of this bouncing is that it can kind of trick the muscles into letting go of patterns of holding, particularly if they're a little bit spontaneous. You might continue that visualization of the pockets being emptied, or maybe there's a whole ripple through the body of letting anything you don't need go down into the earth. And there's even an opportunity here to have a little jump in some puddles, if that feels like you can benefit from that activation and connection to the earth. Helps the pockets get cleansed out. Beautiful. Let's take a wider stance in the feet. Take a bend in the knees. And we're going to do some Qigong twists or Tai Chi twists, whatever beautiful art form you relate this twist to. And if you notice that your wrists or your hands are kind of hitting the back body, it could be under the ribs, which is the location of the kidneys. And the kidneys play a big role in cleansing the body, detox, purification. They're connected to the bladder. So if that's where your hands kind of gently hit as you do this twist, we can send some love towards the kidneys, knowing that we're activating that meridian line. A few sighs out the mouth, detox through the respiration. Beautiful. Just looking at my notes. Keep that wide stance between the legs. And this is a chopping wood exercise. So there's a magical axe up in the sky. We're going to take it, and as we exhale, we're going to swing down, chop some wood with a ha. And once again, if there's something in your life that you're wanting to discharge, this is a ritual we can use to honor that now. Let's do 2 more. Coming up. I'm just going to shake out the limbs, sweeping across the limbs too while I'm here. Energetic cleanliness. Even up the head. Whew. And this is a little bit like the chopping wood exercise, but we can bring even more intensity to it. So if you came to this class for just a soft energy cleansing, maybe this one doesn't feel like the most potent for you right now, that's totally fine. You might just watch, or you might give it a go, see how you feel. But if there's something really big that you want to let go of, and it could just be a word, or it could be a particular situation, or if there's anger there, we can use our special powers. And I'm going to do this in a anti-clockwise. I don't know which direction, but we're going to open a vortex in the floor. It's easier for me when I do a sound. Okay, we're imagining that vortex. It goes right down to the core of the earth. And the earth loves our compost. So no matter what the charge is, no matter how toxic or yucky it feels, the earth has the capacity to transform that and alchemize it, transmute it into something medicinal. So we're opening the vortex, we're gathering all that charge. You might bring in a bit of muscle activation here to really connect to that sense of power. And we're going to inhale and exhale and throw that big charge down into the vortex. I like to listen for the little ping as it hits the core of the earth. And then we close the vortex. You might do that a few times to really feel the impact. I'll just leave a moment of silence for anyone who wants to try that again, or if you just want to pause and notice the effects of the practice. Beautiful. So if it's comfortable having the wide stance, you can stay there, otherwise make any adjustments you need to. Or you could even do this on the floor. I might demonstrate it on the floor. But we're going to come into a gesture of receptivity. So all of these practices so far have had a lot to do with clearing our space, creating an empty vessel, discharging things that we no longer need. And we're going to come into a receptive gesture. And for me, this manifests as opening the wings of the arms wide, the wings of the heart are wide, and I have a gaze of awe up to the sky, up to the heavens. And I'm imagining myself as a vessel for divine rays of grace, of light, for what it is that I'm wanting to draw in. So we've emptied our vessel. Now that it's empty, now that it's clear, what do you want to fill it with? And this is also a protective process as well. Filling ourselves up with positive energy, with immunity, with nourishment. And this could just be a color, perhaps the visualization is enough. Feeling that ray of divine light drip upon you. Or perhaps you even vocalize audibly what it is that you're calling in, like a prayer, like a declaration, an invitation. And feel that coming in. Whenever you feel complete, you can stay here as long as you like, but we're just going to sweep that over us. And really, almost as if we're patching up a mud brick house and smoothing over the edges so that all the little air bubbles become sealed. And we're creating this protective field around us and drawing that nourishment inwards. You might wave the energy in towards the body, or you might create kind of an orb structure over you. But filling in that space that we've emptied with our good energy, sweeping it over us, anointing ourselves with that energy. And it can feel really nice to actually wave the air over the face, feeling the brush of an angel's wing or the blessings that we've been calling in. Celestial support through the air element, through ether. And smoothing over the energy field for as long and as thoroughly as you feel, creating that protection, integrity. And then finding yourself in a comfortable seat, if you're not already in one. And I'll invite us to have palms receptive to the ceiling. You can have eyes open or closed if you're really feeling that awe from the receptive vessel gesture. Maybe you want to keep the eyes open and draw in the light from the environment, bring a smile to the face, to the heart, or perhaps you feel really yummy being internal. And from here, I'll invite us into a closing gesture, a gesture that brings a sense of containment. So the two that I'll offer, you might have your own. One is Anjali, bringing the palms together, uniting left and right hemispheres of the brain, bringing union to polarities within us. Or perhaps you unite top and lower body with one palm on the belly, one palm over the heart. And we can finish the practice today with an affirmation to weave in that cognitive aspect of the soma, of the mind-body connection. The one I'll be offering is a favorite one of my mentors. I am sacred, I am blessed. Blessing this vessel as a sacred space. But if you have your own, please let that come to the surface or land in. And like we give a little seal to an envelope, a wax seal, we can seal the vessel with that honoring affirmation. Thank you so much for joining this class. I hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you in another video.